such as 9 as our answer. However, most of the time, you're going to get a decimal as your answer because a lot of the time you're not dealing with perfect squares. You're dealing with an imperfect square root. So you're going to get a decimal. And it's okay to have a decimal as your answer. So you're either going to get a whole number if it's a perfect square, or you're going to get a decimal if it's not a perfect square. But you have to understand that to go from a squared to a, I have to take the square root. That's what it's called. We're taking the square root. Does it make sense? Honestly? Like, I give you the next problem, you can do it on your own? Everyone at home, does anybody have any questions about any of these steps we did? Or do you need to explain how we got something in one of the steps? No. Xavier, Cohen, Isaiah, do you guys have any questions? Do you need me to go over anything?
Yeah, I'm
Okay. If I'm moving too fast for anyone, you have to let me know.
Nope.
Does anybody need me to leave this up so you have more time to write it down? Anybody?
No.
Thank you, Emily. Alright. Huh? Well, I want to test how much you were paying attention now to the last problem. So here's another problem for you to do, and I want you guys to do this one on your own. So you either have to tell me what A is equal to, or tell me where you get stuck. Like as you're going through it, tell me actually this is the part I got stuck at. Because it shows me that you're trying and then you got stuck. I don't want you guys to not try. The whole point is to try. If you try and get stuck, or you try and get it wrong, then at least I know you're attempting to learn. But if you don't try at all, then how am I supposed to know where you need help? so if I have my triangle, right, and I said 5, not 5. Alright, we said 10 and 20, right? And I don't know what C is, okay? How would I set up my problem? It doesn't matter which one you use for A or B, because they're both my legs, right? So which one do you want to use for A? Okay. There you go. So now, what's 10 squared? And 20 squared? And I don't know that, so I'm going to bring it down, right? Now, instead of in like this problem where we had to like subtract to move it, do you see how this is already by itself? Right? So now I'm just actually going to add them. So what's that added together? And now what do I do? The square root. There you go. So it doesn't matter, what I'm trying to show you is it doesn't matter which side they don't give you. As long as you know the equation, as long as you know this, you can always solve for your missing side. Now, obviously solving for the hypotenuse is always easier because there's no movement involved. But as you saw, solving for the leg wasn't hard either. It just added that extra step. Okay? Doing all right, Joseph? Need some help here? Good job, Smile. I'm going to give you guys another 2 minutes to work on this, and then we'll go over it. You guys are so mean to each other. So basically, Jermaine, we covered that piece yesterday, which was solving, Jermaine, we covered that yesterday, which was solving for what we call what? What is C called? I was telling kids if you want to say hippopotamus, that's fine. So as long as you know it's that word that starts with an H, you'll be fine. So this is what we did yesterday. Jermaine, stop engaging. Otherwise I'm going to turn off the chat. This is what we did yesterday, finding C. And then today, we found one of the legs. Now, honestly, was this hard? Why was it hard? Honestly, from here on out, it's all formula based. This topic and the next topic are all formula based.
It's hard, but I'm not going to use it.
Yes, you will. You want me to tell you how? How? You use this all the time. Parents use this all the time. How? Okay, so side A is your house. Side B, like B is the floor, the ground, and C is the ladder leaning up against your house to get to the roof. So like, or like our school. Like if someone wanted to get from the floor to the ceiling to the roof of the school to fix something, when they have to put a ladder, and wouldn't the ladder be leaning like our hypotenuse? So they use it all the time. Just think about it. If I put it like on a not so good, on a low steep, the ladder could slip and fall down. If I put it too steep, addition, which is Joe or Jermaine. Don't. I'm gonna turn the chat up. Subtract. Good job, Maya. What am I subtracting? 100.
100 by 100.
Right. I need to remove the 100. So I'm gonna subtract the 100 from both sides. Jermaine, stop typing. I'll make you sit on your hands. So, Jermaine, what's 400 minus 100? 300. So now I have a squared equals 300. Is that my answer? No, because I need a, and that is a squared. So what is the next step we do? What's the symbol called? You know what, Jermaine, what's the symbol called? The square root. I need to take the square root of both sides. What is the square root of 300? Sure you can remember, Jones?
She did one of those small kids with the without the
You did what?
Oh, yeah, I did one of those.
Oh, yeah, you did. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so square root of 300 is approximately 17.3. Is 17.3 smaller than 20, which is my hypotenuse? Then we did this correctly. Because remember, your legs have to be smaller than the hypotenuse. Does anybody need me to go over any of the steps again? Or explain how we got something? No. Okay. So, you have a new textbook assignment. I gave you the 8-1 Math Excel. It's only 5 questions, and it covers Pythagorean theorem. So what we talked about yesterday and today. I want you guys to take the last 10 minutes of class to begin working on that assignment. Don't forget that everything is due for my class April 13th. So if you're missing any past textbook assignments, if you're missing any of the tests we've taken this quarter, all of that has to be turned in by April 13th. Otherwise, the grade will stay as 0 in SIS. So please make sure you're checking SIS and completing anything you're missing for my class. 10 minutes, buddy. Well, you take a bus, right? You have to make up your text, by the way. Oh. Yeah, Jermaine. Jermaine, if you're not back here in 5 minutes, I'm going to call for the office for you. Because sometimes you go disappearing. You got it? Jermaine? What I said? You not listen when I talk? You have to be back in 5 minutes. There's no room. Go to the bathroom, come back. So Xavier, you have 2 textbook assignments. You have the 7-8, which was the old assignment, and you have the new one I just gave you, the 8-1.
Miss, I don't for you.
You still have, I just gave you the 8-1 today. You did it already?
Wait.
I literally just assigned it this morning.
Okay, now see it.
And I don't know the exact date yet for testing for math. I think it's the end of May, but I don't know the exact date yet.
Okay.
We do know the date for the writing FSA though. That is April 15th. So that's coming up soon. I don't know what to say. If you want to specifically know what you are missing, you can ask me and I will tell you. Or you can always check SIS because that is up to date. So Jovens, you just have a new assignment. Huh?
Keep guessing. Keep guessing. Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Just don't worry about it. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Just don't worry about it. Cause everything is gonna be alright.
Jermaine, let's go.
Something like this, it would be because the teachers are better.
Right. Come sit, let's go. Man, you have a lot to make up. Would anybody else like to know specifically what they're missing from my class? Jermaine, you should be spending less time filling my chat with nonsense. And you have 2 textbook assignments and a test to make up.
It's gonna be alright. Just don't. Just don't
Alright guys, again everything is due April 13th, so if you're missing anything from my class, you want to make sure you start making them up. Because if you don't have it in by that deadline, it stays at 0 in SIS. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, Miss Mojo.
Bye, Emily. See you tomorrow.
No one cares.
Bye, Isaiah. Bye, Xavier.
That was just
See you guys tomorrow.
No one cares.
Jermaine.
Make her fuck you up.
Don't make me.
I'll put this movie.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Layups, nigga.
He gonna make me fuck. Gonna make us pussy fuck. Yo?
The fuck, nigga? My nigga sound like a girl.
My God.
Sound like Jeremy's bitch ass.
John. Yeah.
Selling.
Hey, he gonna make me purr. Gonna make the pussy purr.
Jeremy, what court you at?
Yo, make your dick pull, nigga.
Jeremy, what court you
I'm
at?
in the 2's court. Oh my God.
Bro, niggas make it wise, bro.
Yeah, just made it on what need the Felix who call it.
What